Good morning, good morning. Okay, something today a bit the same, something today a bit different. It's glue time. We've seen that before recently, but today it's gluing with a difference. And actually, I'm going to need your help. You know, actually, I'll probably already know. New York newspaper. Anybody want the financial pages? Sunday's newspaper. Oh, another newspaper story. This is fun. Remind me later on. And then we've got some issues, paper issues to talk about. Bunch of things to talk about. Bunch of things to talk about while we are working. Socks. Your socks are safe today. We do have a show and tell. We may not get to it. It's going to be a bit intensive today. We're gluing up. What you've seen me do before, we've taken some small pieces of plywood like this, and we've glued cherry faces onto them. Now, I'm going to be doing that today. I have to do this today because I need these blocks Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. But that's not what we're going to be doing on stream today, unless we run out of time. Today, we have the same thing, but Oban size. I don't think we've ever done this on stream before. I don't think I've ever tried to do something like this. I'm not really sure. We are gluing up today large blocks, big ones. This is as big as we can handle. You know the little bench press I use here. There's no way these are going to fit inside that little book press, pinch press. So for this today, I have two of them to do. I have two core pieces and I have 4 boards. Now actually I have 4 core pieces altogether and 8 boards, but they won't all fit in the press. Get the big salt bucket, yeah. That's about. Okay, a few questions. What are these for? These are for the upcoming Mokuhankan version of Hiroshige's iconic cat in the window print. This is actually, it's not a picture of a cat. It's a picture of a festival. Way in the background there's a festival taking place. And the cat is simply watching it. But when done properly, this is a beautiful, beautiful Hiroshige design. And for many, many years, I should have brought the book to show you, whatever. One of the earliest books I learned about printmaking from, there's a picture of this image in there in a good and bad form, showing an early, nicely made version and showing a later, terribly made version. And the beautiful version of this thing is so nice that I put it in my mind that one day we would make one. And we're doing it. Chon-san now has nearly finished carving the key block. This is his tracing. This is Chon-san's tracing. Beautifully, beautifully done, beautifully traced. It's a printout of his tracing. And he's done with the key block and he wants color blocks. And he needs 4 pieces of wood, 2 on each. So he needs 8 faces. And I'm overdue. I've got to get these going. The wood we're using has been curing, drying, sitting here in Mokuhankan for 7 years. 7 years ago, these came from a larger slab, which we had drying itself for a longer time. And these were sliced up into small, thin pieces 7 years ago. And they're not going to get any drier than this. And I've got to get this done before the rainy season starts. Because once the rains come, these things will pick up a huge amount of water. They will expand. We glue them down. Winter comes, they try and contract, and they will develop cracks. So this week, really, right now, is my last chance to get these glued down. They're not perfectly flat, but they're going to be flat once they've been glued and pressed. They're not perfect blocks. There's a little bit of end wood here. We wouldn't want to be printing on this part, nor would we want to be printing on this part. But it doesn't matter. Chon-san will pick and choose from the different blocks we have here. And when it comes time for the printers to print, Most of the colors on these are fully in the middle. We'll have to make sure this green area on here will be going right to the edge. The fact that I've got a variety of different pieces of wood will help us. Yeah, this is not planed yet. What you're seeing, somebody's mentioning, you can see striations. This is from the resaw, the band saw that cut the big plank, the big block into smaller pieces. After gluing these down, these will be planed. And I won't be doing that myself. This is too big. We have a specialist planer we use over in Kiba, Shinkiba. Now, the question though is, and I'm going to need your help for this. I'm going to need your help. How much glue do we need to mix? Before, last time we did this, we had 4 of these small ones. Today we have 2 larger ones. And it looks pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not quite 4 times. But you know, it's close enough. So whatever glue we had to do 4 of these should be, I think, the same amount of glue to do 1 of these. And we've got 2 to do. So I'm talking volume. We're not talking volume. We're talking about surface area. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 times the surface area times 2. So I've got 8 times the surface area. If somebody can remind me, what was the numbers? What were the numbers that we came up with last time? I'm thinking we mixed 60-60 to do 4 of those. Yeah, thanks, Flyfish. Just enough to reach the ground. I asked for that, didn't I? Twice as much glue as last time. I think I need 8 times. Well, twice. I think I need twice as much as last time. Can I? If we had enough to do 4 of those, now we're doing 1 of those. That's the same, and then we're going to do 2 of those. So yeah, so you're right. We need twice as much as last time. Someone says I wrote it on the box. Oh, that's right. Look at this. DF times 4 was 60-60. Man, if my head wasn't bolted on, I would forget to bring it every morning. You're right, there you are, 60-60 to do 4 of these. And this morning we're doing 2 of those, so it looks like 120, 120. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, how though are we going to press this? We don't have a press. You know, my little press here, 4 of these stacks go inside the press. We screw it down from the top and press them. How are we going to press this? And people out there know the answer. And almost certainly, the lady who is known to us as BZN City, this lady is almost certainly got the answer for us. The bottle jack under the steps. Yes, that's it. Lycos78, are you the first one who's got it? We are going to reinvigorate and reopen the bottle jack under the steps. And I think we did this on a Twitch stream literally many years ago. It's under the steps. Somewhere behind there is a press. Now, I'm not just blowing this out. I did last night check. I came up here, I moved the cabinets, and I had a look at everything under there, and it looks like we're going to be able to use it. I haven't tested it. I think the last time we used this was about 7 years ago. We did it on a stream. We did it on a stream. Let's do this. Let's do this. The press capability up there, I remember how I built it first to do just one block. It was silly to do one, so I stretched it out a bit. The bottle jack press under there will do 2 of these, I think. If I'm remembering it wrong, then I'm in big, big, big trouble. Also, too, there's not going to be enough in these cans. So we have 2 more cans on standby. Let's do this. And I think that little black cup we were using isn't going to cut it, so I think we need a larger. I think we need a larger cup. That should be enough, right? Should be enough. Remembering the press, part 2. You got it. You've got a link, actually. No way. Making blocks for the octopus. July 2018. 7 years ago. Look at that. I don't have a bigger cup. I think that's going to be enough to show. The whole can is 500. And we're looking at, what are we looking at now? 240? What did we say? 120, 120. We're looking at 240. It might not be big enough. Okay, let's go to plan B. I think that's not big enough, so let's go to plan B. Let's use this. How much of it? Sorry about the noise, I'm sorry, excuse me. It is dry. People are asking. It's dry. It's dusty. It's not wet. This is not one of the ones we use for sizing. It's just an empty water bottle sitting here. It's dry. It's not so sharp. I think this will do it. This will do it. It's a bit difficult for you to see, but once we get stuff in there, we'll do it. Okay, let's do this. What are our numbers? 120, 120? Was that the deal? 120, 120? Speak now or forever hold your peace. There's nowhere near going to be enough. It says 0. We're now going to 1. It's actually going to be a bit difficult. That's a bumpy thing inside there, you know. It's going to be a bit difficult to mix at the bottom. would be really nicer if there was a smooth surface container. Dave, think, 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 think. What can I use? What can I use? No, that's got holes in the bottom. No, that's not going to work. What can I use? Is there something else I could sacrifice that could do this? Oh, this maybe. Look, 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 look. Just a second. There's a little plastic cup over there. It must have been used for paint. And it's even got numbers on the side. Look at this. That'll fit inside. It's got numbers. It says 100 milliliters, 200 milliliters, 300 milliliters. So it's going to be enough. I'll switch. I think it's an old cup for mixing paint or something. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry, excuse me. Let's reset the stand. I really thought I knew what I was doing. Yeah, the other idea, somebody's mentioned, use one of these tins themselves. That could do, but that's actually, the access here is really not good. Okay, we're okay. This will do it. It's marked as 0. We're going to go 120, 120, right? This is a workshop. You know, there's cups and little bits and things full of nails and screws. Everybody's got this sort of stuff in their own home, I'm sure. Okay, let's go. We need 120, 120. We're now up to 60. We're just passing 60, 62. We've passed 80 now. Up to the 90s, just past 100, 102, 103. There might be enough in this can to do this. $107. Big drop going in. 113. 14. There's going to be enough in this can. 17, 18. If I scrape the spoon, I think it should do it. 19, 20. We're at 20. Let's go a bit more because that's just what's in the can. There's only little scrapings, so let's. What's left in the can would have to be thrown away anyway, so let's just put it in here. We're up to 124. $127. The problem now is, of course, if the other half doesn't match, whatever. 27, 28. We're at 128 now. I think that's it. Should we scrape a tiny bit more to try and get this 130? Let's see what we can get. $129. $130. We're at 130. Away we go. Okay, so we're shooting for now 260, right? This one pours this stuff. The sticky orange one doesn't pour, but this light colored one pours. $2.30, $2.35. There's not going to be enough in the can. They don't match exactly, do they? $2.40, $2.41. I forget, what are we going for? $2.60? There's not going to be enough. Putting that last little bit of the orange one in was probably a mistake. We're at 251. $2.53. Take some out of the bottom. Yeah, right. Thank you very much. We might have enough. $2.55, $2.56. It's $2.57 now. Can I scrape enough out of here? I think we're okay. This is how it should work. The cans should have the same amount. $2.58. Come on, you can do it. Drip, drip, drip. $2.59. We're going to be okay. $2.60. So we didn't need to open the new cans. That's for next time. Clean up for later. $2.60 it is. Now we have some mixing to do. Next half hour here. Ooh. Get to where I can see the chat. This is going to take some time now to mix this stuff, absolutely. Okay, you're reading a story in the newspaper here. Tell you what, I hadn't intended that to be something specifically readable, but I did clip another story from my newspaper the other day. So while we are mixing this, actually, this is going to take some time to mix. While we are mixing this, there is another story from my newspaper. This is kind of news, and this is going to affect a bunch of places here in Asakusa. The boys across the street, the ninja boys who play across the street from us, they're not affected by this. They are using plastic swords, of course. They're playing with little kiddies. They're playing plastic swords. But over on Kokusai Dori, the main street near us, there's a ninja experience, and this has been their main thing. You dress up in the actual ninja clothes, and you use a real, quote, unquote, real sword to do the specific activities and things. And this is news to me. You know, there are experiences out there where you're doing actual cutting stuff. You know, they set up some bamboo things or some straw stuff, and the participants grab a sword and go at it. And that apparently now, all I know is what I've read in the story here, apparently this has been made illegal. Under the program that allowed tourists to use real Japanese swords was suddenly cancelled in January in Yamagata Prefecture because it violated the firearms and swords control law. The program was popular among foreign tourists and won an award from the central government. The city's tourism association expressed disappointment about having to cancel the attraction. No mention from what the local hospitals thought about this. I don't know. I don't know the backstory. The reporting here just reports the fact that these groups have now been forced to cancel this. They didn't bother to send a reporter to the police agency to ask why this was happening. This is a conservative newspaper. This is the Yomiuri newspaper. This is your Wall Street Journal type of newspaper, whatever. It's a conservative newspaper. So they go with the government's line on stuff, and there's no way they would try and get any more information about this, you know. The only backstory is this. The National Police Agency issued a notice to police stations across the country on December the 25th, saying that the use of swords by a large number of tourists for monetary amusement was not allowed under the Firearms and Swords Control Law, which would seem to imply that it's not a safety issue, it's for monetary amusement. So I don't know. If anybody knows any more about the backstory here, you can let me know. I know our kitchen's going to be not allowed to use knives and forks in a cooking class. I don't know. Woodblock printmaking classes cancelled. The use of a baron is against the public safety and morals or something, whatever. I don't know. There may be other reporting on this. If you guys can Google this a little bit, find out. Maybe some other newspaper got a little bit more investigative about this rather than just parroting what happened. Actually, this is turning out to be fairly easy to mix here. This cup is good and fairly strong. We're getting a good creamy color. You know the rule, I'll keep going a bit longer than you think you need to go. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 faces to cover. How's our time? 8:28. I think we'll be okay on this. Making sure the paper's out. The paper isn't out. I'm standing in front of the freezer right now. Today being a Saturday here, there are no yellow dots. My yellow dot should be there, and I should be printing today. This stream here should have been a printing stream, but I'm going to have to be down in the shop. So today and tomorrow I won't have time to print. My prints were due on May the 21st. And they're still in the freezer. And some of you, people watching this, are waiting for my prints. What are we mixing? We're mixing glue. We are making wood blocks. Literally making wood blocks. Okay, here's how it goes. Let me first now choose which face is going down and which face is going up. The boards themselves, as far as printability goes, there really isn't going to be any difference in the printability. What I would like to do is make sure we're going to paste down. We've talked about this before. This is an in general thing. When you can see the wood grain at the edge, as the boards dry, those annual growth rings in the tree like to straighten out. So what we would want to do, we would want to bond this piece this way down, so that as the wood dried, it would want to bend this way. If we pasted it this way around, pasted it down on this face, as the wood dried, it would want to bend this way and it would stress the bond. So we're going to paste this side down, which means in order I don't forget, I'm going to put a big, that one's going to get the glue. Double check, Dave. Yes. Then the other piece, the same thing, because there's no clear difference between quality front and back. Well, there's a few little marks here that are not sort of present on the back, but the other factor is much more important. We want to paste it down so that that's our glue side. It goes down, and the stress will be this way, not this way. Let's do the same thing with the other pair. It's hard to see the wood grain. Let's roll. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 to spread, and then 4 to spread. So we're going to do 8 spreadings here. And the wood is carved, the wood is cut just a tiny bit oversized. They're going to glue down like this. It's a little bit oversized, and I'll be trimming them after. We're not trying to glue exactly the same size pieces. If it slips a little bit in the press, we'd be in trouble. Are we ready? The things I'm speaking to you now, yeah, I would have to be thinking those exactly. If I wasn't streaming right now, I think I would be doing in my head exactly the same thing I just explained to you. I wouldn't have to verbalize it. I don't really talk to myself day by day by day. But yes, I would have had to pick up this sheet of wood, look at it, study the grain, what am I going to do? And I would have made the same marks. This was not for your benefit, this was for my benefit. And I think, before I forget, we're going to get some salt. The press we're going to use here, the bottle jack press, it doesn't slide much. You'll see, when we get to it, you'll see. Okay, let's do this. I need about 1/8 of this quantity here. Are we on camera? We are on camera. If this was a perfectly flat surface, it wouldn't use that much glue, but because it's ridged, the glue is going to fall into those ridges, you know. We're actually wasting quite a lot of glue here. Corners. So saying, what's the advantage of epoxy over traditional wood glue? Well, we're simply trying to use one of the strongest glues we can find. Also, the wood blocks do get exposed to a fair lot of moisture. They are drenched with water at printing time. So we have to have a glue that is completely waterproof. So we want something strong, waterproof, long-lasting. I'm not going to pretend that this is the only possible glue we could have used. There's lots of glues out there. Lots I don't even know about, I guess. This one's a known quantity. You know. There is a downside in this epoxy, in that once it's cured, it is very hard. And if there were wood carving involved in the area that was glued, it could damage the tools, the chisels. And other places in Tokyo here that are making wood blocks this way don't use epoxy. Matsumura-san, who is making blocks, because he's selling to a lot of amateurs who tend to cut maybe sometimes very deeply on the blocks, he uses a softer glue. And his blocks actually are really quite prone to coming apart at this joint. The blocks we use ourselves do sometimes delaminate. They come apart. I'll show you one. Do I have one handy? I don't know if I have one handy. No, I don't have one. We talked about this just a while ago. No, I don't have one handy. Some of our blocks have been delaminating in the middle of the plywood. The bond that we are making, the joint we're making right now, because this epoxy is extremely strong, it doesn't delaminate, tends not to delaminate. But the plywood, interior layers of the plywood sometimes do. I do read the newspapers, yes, of course. The newspapers we buy are for me to read. And then before throwing away, we use them in our work, lots. All of our printing is done on newsprint. Okay, down she goes. So we should be 1/4 of the way through our glue. I should have maybe even thought about looking at the side of the cup. Ha ha ha. Didn't think about that. Let's put this other one out of the way for a second, just a moment. It's now all over my fingers. Sorry for not keeping on top of the chat here. Looking good, right to the corners. Looking good. My fingers are filthy now. Looking good. Okay, we're halfway there. Let's set this one aside for a minute. Do it again. And then we'll go into the press together. This one's got a bit of a chewed out part, can't be helped. These are going to be color blocks, so of course on any given print we don't need the full surface of every color block. You know, the block that is going to do the sky or something won't be used for the bottom, so you will choose that block. The block that goes for the ground part won't be used for the sky. So if any given piece of wood has a defect like that, it's no big deal, because of course not every surface of every block is used for each color. It's a bit of a paradox in what we're doing too, because most of our wood blocks, all the careful preparation we do, most of it gets chiseled away and goes on the shop floor. And if we knew in advance what parts were going to be used, well, we can't. So it's funny. Most of this wood will get chopped away and thrown onto the workshop floor. But you never know which is going to be which. So with the washi, it's not the case. The paper, most of the paper does get used, of course. But with the wood blocks, speaking of surface area, most of it doesn't make it through. I don't know how we're doing. I can't tell. We end up in the same situation every time. Are we going to make it? Is it going to run out? Ha ha ha. Someone's saying, did we consider epoxying the edges to make them more waterproof? That's an interesting question. And I think maybe we probably should do something like that. We should maybe varnish them. I'm not really sure if it makes much difference. This is supposedly a pretty high quality plywood, but given the fact that we have had some separation issues, would it help to seal the edges? I don't know really. But yeah, interesting question there. Okay, what we're going to do next is the wood's beautifully dry, you know. It's been drying for so long up here. I think we're doing okay. I think we're doing about right. We've got, what, 3 faces left? No, 1, 2. We've got 3. I better be careful. We've got 3 faces left. We're just past halfway. How's our time? 8:49. We're doing okay. Show and tell, I don't know. We do have a standby show and tell ready if we get that much time, but I don't know. I don't know. Okay, that's 2 faces. Let's put that one. I think we're looking good. We have 2 left to do. I don't think there's any drama here today. I think we're okay. I did put the salt on. No, it's just an salt. We could use sand, I think, as well, you know. The idea is to simply stop things from sliding. We're okay. There's going to be enough. I won't be doing the planing of these blocks, no. They're too wide to go in our little in-house planer here. We'll be sending them out to a professional shop in Kiba, a guy who's been helping us for years. He won't be planing them actually. What he'll be doing is he'll be using a, I don't even know what the tool is called. It's not a planer. There's no rotating thing with blades on it. There is a blade on the machine facing upwards. And above the blade, there's a rotating sort of pad thing that grabs the piece of wood and sends it through the machine so it slices along the blade. The blade itself doesn't rotate, it's static. So it's a slicer. It's like making one pass with a plane. You know, a hand plane, not a rotating plane. And when it works well, it's beautiful. And when it doesn't work well, when it starts to tear the wood, it's kind of chaos. Because some of this wood grain is pretty rough. It goes back and forth along the surface. And ideally, a plane blade would cut just one way, not the other way, you know, with the grain, not against the grain. But some of the wood we send this guy has grain going in both directions. And he's like, I don't know. It's not a sander, it's planed, it's cut. We avoid as much as possible using sanding for this. We've got a little bit left, so we've come okay. There's not a whole lot left. There's not a big wastage, but we've done just right. Okay, now the interesting part, the press. First, let me wash my hands. Easy peasy. This stuff, it cleans up with water, yeah, I know. All the epoxy I ever used in my earlier life or different careers, guitar building, whatever, that epoxy was, it was everywhere. It went everywhere. It wouldn't clean. It wouldn't do anything. This stuff just washes straight. Tiny bit of soap, just wash, and it's done. Boom. Okay, now I need to move the camera. Let's zoom out. Oops. Frames waiting to be taken away. Our pigment cabinet. On wheels. Let's get rid of, I think maybe we'll get rid of my picture here because I won't be hanging around near this. For a lot of the next part of this, I'm going to be down there doing stuff. I won't be at the computer, so maybe I won't be able to follow the chat. So I'll take this camera off. I'll refocus on the area down there. And just whatever, I'll keep explaining what I'm doing, but I won't be able to watch all your chat. Cabinet out of the way. Another magnificent piece of cherry. waiting for its turn to be sliced. Now this is going to be tough because there's no way we can carry this to Kiba. So when it's time, Taran-san and I, we will sort of slice it with our saw into smaller pieces, take it to Kiba, where it will then be sliced this way into thinner pieces. But for right now, it just needs to be out of the way here. It came to us in 2017, November of 2017. It's been drying since then. And we are under the stairs. Tell you what, let's drop the camera level. I need a cameraman today. I've also got some lights ready. Is that it? We got some lights, good. But I can't see what I'm doing. One bottle jack. Get rid of the floor. Okay, we're down to the foundations of the building. There's concrete there. That's the third floor itself. There are beams under the subfloor here. So we're standing on a floor which is on these beams. We have first a base plate. It's 2 pieces of thick, what is it, 18 millimeter, no, 23 millimeter plywood, screwed and glued and bonded together to make a base plate. Boom. Inside there are going to go our sandwich. Inside there is going to go our sandwich. On top of it, we have another piece of the heavy, big, thick plywood with an X marks the spot in the middle. Now we have the concrete stairs on the top of it, and against the stairs I put big pieces of wood, like 2x4s like this. They are braced this way up against the stairs. We are now going to, how do I get in here? When I first built this a few years ago, I misunderstood how bottle jacks worked. I know they're a little miniature hydraulic jack. I thought what you did was you put the jack in place like your car or whatever. You jack up your car and you leave it there. And I misunderstood, but bottle jacks don't work like that. You can't set them and leave them and come back 24 hours later. This glue is going to take 24 hours to dry. You can't leave pressure on a bottle jack for that length of time. So what we're doing is this. First step, think I'm okay. I'm worried about sliding. Has there been much sliding or slippage? Seems not. And now we jam in place. We have wood and we have wedges. And I'm going to have to get in there, so maybe I'm going to block the view here. Just one sec. Hammer my kingdom for a hammer. So we've wedged it in with the two upright supports. They are now wedged, holding the pressure. The bottle jack itself can't maintain pressure for 24 hours. We're there. We could release this now, I think. And it won't matter, the bottle jack isn't holding its own pressure. Looking good. Anda. Okay, what's next? Let's inspect the glue. How did I come to this idea instead of buying C-clamps? I don't want to use C-clamps. There's no way I'm going to be able to board that wide. I want pressure right across the entire surface. And for the little ones we do, I think it would have been easy enough. You could get a couple of C-clamps and you could clamp this and you're pretty much good to go. But blocks that are that wide, and these were the ones we started with when we did this 9 or 10 years ago. I don't think there's any way that I can easily, I mean, this is actually really, really easy. It only took me a couple of hours to set that up, other than building a real bottle jack press with a big metal frame and a wooden frame and whatever. So this was actually the easy, quick solution to the problem that we had all those years ago, to try and clamp up safely and securely large, wide pieces of wood. Isn't the wood we jammed under the stairs just putting pressure in the middle of the wood block? Well, yes and no. My pressure now is in 2 points in the center of the block, but you saw what I used. I used big, heavy, fat, thick top and bottom plates. If you didn't have a thick bottom plate and top plate, you just put pressure on it. That's all you're going to get. The edges wouldn't be touched. But I think by having top and bottom plates that are that thick and that strong, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. Again, this is not the perfect optimal. If we had a giant hydraulic press that would come down and go psss and squeeze it, that would be wonderful. But I don't have access to that kind of technology here. I had a staircase and a bottle jack, and I think we can put something together to do it. So yeah, if I had maybe 100 C-clamps, whatever. There's lots of ways to do this. Now, it's 9:08. Sadako will be here in a minute, and I think I have enough glue because I've got another job waiting for me here. I have to send to Kawasaki-san tonight, tonight or tomorrow, this weekend. I have to send her the block for the August print, and I don't have a key block. I hear steps on the foot, I hear footsteps. So I am going to glue up. Good morning, Nani.
Good morning.
I thought you were sighing, Nani, complaining. What? Stairs? You're okay for stairs?
I'm okay.
What is the difference in height between us? I don't even know.
I think it's better to weigh the empty can for the future use.
Weigh the
You can
empty can.
estimate how much glue you have.
You mean if I know what an empty can weighs,
Empty can
then
weigh.
when we're part way through, I will know how much is left. In fact, today's case, where I was thinking, did I have enough in the bottom of this or
You
not?
were able to estimate.
Yeah. If I had known what an empty can would weigh, yeah, I could do that. It wouldn't be a bad idea. If I weigh this, can you remember the number?
No, viewers will
Yeah, whatever.
remember. I don't trust
Write
you.
it on the box. So, does Sadako-san know about the bottle jack? I don't know. You didn't see the last part?
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, okay. Maybe you saw it years ago. I don't know.
No, this is my first time to see.
Soka. I was a little bit nervous when I built it. You know, we had just come up to the floor, to the third floor here, and I built the thing underneath the staircase, thinking the concrete floor, I can't hurt that. The concrete staircase, I can't hurt that, surely. But I was jacking, and I just wondered, am I going to split the concrete on the staircase, you know? But I don't think so. I don't think we're putting that much pressure in there. One little tiny bottle jack.
Seems okay.
I think we're okay. I think we're okay. They're all, you're getting some compliments, brilliant ideas, smart. Someone said, okay, all right, then, well, let's, okay, but what we've got then, just to see, I've got one more block to glue up here, you know. Okay, the weigh scale, turn it on with nothing on it. So we have now an empty can for one. It's not empty, it's got the residue left. But anyway, that's the residue. We wouldn't be able to empty it anyway. Okay, the can with a little bit of empty residue is 108 grams, 108. That's the white clear can. The other one with its own little bit of residue inside, this is for the yellow one. It says 117 grams.
Wow, quite
well,
different.
because the residue is different. You know, I didn't,
Yeah.
this sticky one, you can't scrape it all out, everything, you know, you never get it all out. But anyway, that's what we would want, is how much is left after I've taken out what I can
Yes.
use. So there's some numbers for posterity here. 117 grams on the yellow sticky one.
About 100 grams.
And I've already forgotten. Somebody write it down. I'm no good at notes, you know. It's just going back to my pathological dislike of school. Just making notes, and it's like doing homework, and it's built into me now. I don't want anything to do with it. 108. I can see even picking up the pen now. It's homework. I'm back in school, and I hate the teacher, and I don't want to be there. It's you know, it's just built in. Okay.
Sure.
No, I've got to glue one more piece of wood because Kawasaki-san needs a key block by Monday, and it's now Saturday morning. And I was going to have to glue this anyway, and it turns out there's enough glue left now for me to do this, and I can put it into our little jack, our little press. Okay, see, thank you. Lunch is in
Warm lunch.
warm lunch. Oh, so nothing in the
It's
fridge.
quite cold.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there's a little bit of a story too on this piece of wood. I'm really sorry not to have all the different pieces to show you. We're scrambling around trying to find wood. So we're buying different pieces of cherry. She says goodbye. We're buying different pieces of cherry. You've seen me before. We've tried to buy bits of wood and stuff on auctions, old blocks where we can get them. I got a bunch of blocks a couple of years ago from Richard Steiner in Kyoto, blocks that had been used to make fans. We planed them off. Anyway, so when I was in Ome, the last time I was out there, when we had our book corner with that Hasui block, that Hasui book, I found in my wood storage place a piece of cherry that had come to me years ago from auctions that had been unused. Excuse me. It was thicker than this. It was about, whatever. It was a little bit thick, and I had two choices. I could use it as it was, just carve one surface, print it, and then carve the other surface. But we don't want to mix mukuita, raw wood, with plywood, because this piece of wood would shrink and swell with the seasons, and the matching color blocks on plywood wouldn't shrink and swell. So once we've started using plywood blocks, we have to do it all. So this wood, I took it on our bandsaw. We have a sort of a hobby bandsaw in Ome. I put it on the bandsaw, bzzz, and split it apart. It got a bit wiggly partway through. It's not a great bandsaw, and I'm not an expert. But I brought it back here, put it to our planer, and I now have two beautiful pieces of antique wood, and that piece of wood was heavy and dense. You can't really feel it now, but this is two faces from an old dense piece of wood that was scheduled to be a key block. Now we've gained nothing. I had a piece of wood that had one surface, two surfaces. We would have carved one and carved the other. By splitting it on a bandsaw, planing the inside, I am now going to glue it on something like this. I don't gain anything. I've still got one face and another face. So why are we doing this? Well, as I said, because we don't want to mix solid blocks and plywood blocks. And the other reason is, as we did it like this, if I had used it as a solid piece of wood, both sides would be hard. In our printmaking, we usually need one key block and a bunch of softer color blocks. So by splitting it, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to bond it down today onto a piece of plywood, and on the back side, I won't use its partner. I will save that for later, and I will use a piece of softer cherry. So we can use this as a key block and as a color block. There's enough time, there's enough glue. Let me do this. Let me first confirm which side gets pasted down. The wood will want to dry this way, so this is the pasting side. How about this one? It's already decided the pasting side because I didn't get that accurate with the bandsaw. This is going down, that's going to be the carved side. Now the stress, do we have enough glue, epoxy, to do this? I think so. These are all smooth surfaces. I think we've got enough. Did chat go down? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I didn't go down. The new sound you hear in the background is rain. It has started to pour with rain outside. And the back window here is open. I think it's going to be just about perfect, the glue. We're going to use up just the last bit of it. Fabulous. It's pouring out there. Normally we use this press quite wider. We put 4 blocks in. Today it's just going to get 1. No slippage. I think as our salt has done its job, I think. Nice looking block. Okay, there we are. This has actually been a very, very, very productive time for me. Wonderful. Those 4 blocks, the 4 blocks. The 2 big ones, what I did, we put them in now early Saturday morning. They will be dry 24 hours from now. I will pull them out Sunday morning. And I have the raw materials for 2 more. I have 2 more sheets of plywood and I have 4 more sheets of cherry wood. And you're going to be seeing, I think, on Instagram. When I was cutting this yesterday, Ayano-san took some pictures, and I think she's going to put them on Instagram. Me, David, looking in the old stock and chopping the cherry. So 2 of them glued today, 2 more glued tomorrow, Sunday morning. They'll be dry Monday morning, so Monday, that package of 4, I will trim them shape, size, and then send them off to the guy in Kiba who will plane them. This one, in the meantime, this will be ready tomorrow morning. I will quickly plane and dress the back side of it Sunday morning when I get up. There's no pool on Sunday morning and there's no stream, so I'll do that tomorrow morning. Then I will paste the Hanshita down and send it off to Kawasaki-san. This is for carving the key block for Dreams of Future Past, the August print. We're going again, actually, out into a new world. We're going into a new world in August. So I'm very, very happy. It's turned out very, very good today. Okay, now what is it? It's 9:23. Okay, have we got time for a short show and tell? It's nothing. Your socks are safe. We don't have sock material, but I do have some prints. I set them aside in the next room. Give me 1 second and I'll go and get them. Okay, this isn't an open, oh, look, there's glue everywhere. Just a minute. Ettone, glue. Headline news. Headline news in your conservative newspaper from Japan. Princess Aiko is learning from the example of the Emperor and Empress. Nothing about tariffs, nothing about China, nothing about trade news, nothing about war, nothing about Gaza, but Princess Aiko is learning her job. This is the Yomiuri newspaper. Voice of Japan. Bringing you all the news that you need to know. There are people who just subscribe just to that one newspaper. It's like same in America. There's people that would just be Fox News or just be New York Times or whatever. It's the same thing. We're all the same. We're all the same. It should be a law that we're required to read more than one news source. Where am I here? Okay. Sorry, sidetracked, excuse me. I just get a bit frustrated when I see that stuff. Okay. Bringing you today, the show and tell today, this is not an opening up package, whatever. And I think, in fact, when I opened this package as it came in, whatever, we might have done it on the stream. So you may have seen some of these things before. A while back, and this was Yahoo Auctions, anybody could have bought these things. A while back, somebody put on Yahoo Auction an interesting package of old fan prints. Now these are woodblock prints. Everything we've got today is an actual woodblock print, but it's a bit unusual. In the pre-war period, whenever people were making fans, like for the summer festival, the uchiwa fans, or sensu type fans, people that would use when they were dancing and stuff like this, whatever. There's different kinds of fans in Japan. In the old days, they would have been hand-painted sometimes, and many times they would have been made with woodblock prints. Now what we've got a batch here, these are a batch of old fan prints made by woodblock. And our staff, somebody in our staff has made a mistake here. I should actually ask them to correct this. They've taken the word fan print and mistranslated it. They've called these uchiwa-e. Now in Japan, there's different kinds of fans. There's more kinds of fans than Dave even knows about. But uchiwa is the kind of fan we see in a summer festival. It's sort of semi-oval with a thing at the bottom and a bamboo handle, and you fan yourself while you're watching the fireworks at the summer festival. That's an uchiwa. And many of those were made with woodblock prints. These are not uchiwa-e, because the shape here tells us, and the lines here where it's been folded tell us that this was from the kind of fan called a sensu. You know the kind of fan. It's bamboo stuff. It opens up And it's sort of this kind of a shape, and the lady fans herself, or very much it was used when people were dancing at festivals or in more formal dancing. So these are not uchiwa-e. Somebody screwed up here at Mokuhankan. But they are woodblock prints. And what's really, 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 really unusual is that these are woodblock prints made for use as a fan. They have been then made up into a fan. The bamboo has been stuck in, there's been paper on the back, they've been folded, they've been creased up and used as a fan. Some of them have stains, they're dirty. And for some reason, and this is just, they get thrown away. For some reason, after their lifetime of being used as a fan, somebody has taken the trouble to soak them off and flatten them out. And we have here, these are woodblock prints made for use as a fan, used as a fan, and then recovered and preserved. And I can't imagine why anybody would have done that at all. I can't imagine why. And we get a bunch of them, a few dozen of them, and they're in our shop. And what I did was, the girls packed them yesterday. They're going into the shop, and when I'm finished this morning, I will take them down and put them in the shop. So if you're in Asakusa today, this is your chance. And they are to die for. They're so nicely made. This looks like it's a little bit difficult to understand what it is. And in fact, I don't really understand what the thing is, so I'm not even going to try and say. It's a piece of cloth with something. It might be an old copper mirror wrapped up in a piece of cloth. And it's printed in metallic pigments. You can't actually see that because it's all behind plastic. But this was a spectacular little production. And it was basically a freebie. Put it on a fan. Nothing here is ukiyo-e. These are not ukiyo-e prints. This is woodblock printmaking in the sense of the printing business. There's an old instrument. It's a sword of some kind, a sword and a mirror. We may have, there's a theme developing here. We have these little hook shapes, which I noticed on the last one. A sword and a mirror, again, metallic pigments. Ooh, they're all wrapped in plastic. It's difficult to show you what's going on. And they are really, really cool. I have kept a bunch for our collection here. I kept a few that I thought were kind of nice and interesting for me, and the rest of them go into our shop. Someone said, have I ever made a fan? I've never made a fan, but in my Surimono albums, I had a little personal tradition. There are 5 Surimono albums that I made during the years 1999 to 2004. And in each one of the albums, I made a print that had a fan shape. And they were all different shapes, different types of traditional fans. So yeah, I've made fan prints, some reproductions, some original. And stuff like this would have been printed in the bajillions of copies. Quite often, fan printing would have been done without even the paper being moistened. One of the first visits I ever made to a printer in Japan was Matsuzaki-san. It'd be 1989, somewhere around there. He'd invited me to look at his workshop. And I came over, and he and his son and his wife were all working on a fan project. And they had fan shapes, something like this. And they were stacked up in the thousands. I have no idea how many, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. The paper wasn't moistened. They were just rub, big, plaque, rub, big, plaque. They were putting them out in the thousands, and they would have received pennies per sheet. Pennies. This is a bit more complex. It might be a spoof on the treasure ship. I'm not quite sure. We have a boat. We have a man with a great sack of goods. And usually that tells us it's a Hote with his treasure. But I don't know. These gentlemen don't look specifically like treasure gods. Well, it could be. The guy in the black looks like Hote. Not sure. I'll leave it open. It's up to you. There's a moon. Is that a shamisen or a staff? I don't know. It could absolutely be a representation of a treasure ship, or it could just be a picture for fun. Bunch of blocks on this one. Look at this. How many gradations? Each one of those is a separate wood block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5 wood blocks plus the antlers to make that deer. This is not trivial. This was cheap stuff, inexpensive stuff, but boy, made with a nice feeling. This is white pigment on top. The white patches on the deer are not paper showing through. They are white pigment. Classic, classic woodblock print. It looks like a pen drawing, brush drawing. It's woodblock print. Someone says, we're turning them into fans and now damage them. Well, I don't know. They're pretty beat up. They're pretty folded. If you really wanted to keep it around, just leave it exactly as it is now. We've mounted them carefully on acid-free paper. Putting it back into a fan and opening, closing, opening, closing, opening, closing would bring more damage, absolutely. I think they've had their life as a fan. It's hard to say it's a woodblock print, isn't it? Look at all the gradations. It looks like a brush picture. It's not. It's a woodblock print. My God. The woodblock technique can do anything. So many gradations. Here's another minimal, simplistic one. Calligraphy. Some of them are just calligraphy. I don't know enough to read much of that, I'm sorry. Is that a good one? Some of them are really minimal. What do we have here? I don't know. What are we looking at? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't have any idea what the object is. It looks sort of like a bit of fungus from the forest. I don't think that's what it would be. A wooden handle. I'm sorry, I don't have the slightest idea what this is. Anybody with a bit more knowledge about traditional Japanese than me? Reishi. It's a Rorschach, yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know. Somebody's mentioning reishi. Can you explain? I don't know the word, the term. I'm sorry. Can you give us a quick comment? And there's one left. This one we do understand. Again, this is one of the 7 lucky gods, and this is not nothing. This is his bag. This is his bag full of treasure and money. Cool. I like this one. Look at that. My God, all the different gradations and woodblock prints. There was just so much variety in the printmaking back in the old days, you know. Everywhere in society. This is pre-war. This is before the Second World War. We're looking at 1920s, 1930s. And prints, woodblock prints were just everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Books, pamphlets, magazines, fans, everything. After the war, the new economy, people couldn't afford nothing. You know, it's all gone. Okay, we're done. 9:37. I've run a bit over time. Sorry about that, but whatever. I hope we've seen some newer stuff, interesting stuff today. I also realize now that my laundry is standing up there behind you. Let's get that out of the way. Whatever. Okay, I'm done. I'll be back here Monday morning, and because I am still so far behind on the printing, Monday morning stream will almost absolutely certainly be printing, hopefully, the final color on Space Amma. And just to tease something else, there's something I meant to talk to you today, but I ran out of time. I want to show you and talk about Murata-san's washi, because we've been receiving comments from some of the people who've received some of the prints, and they have some questions about the washi. So we'll be addressing that. I was going to do it today, no time. I'll talk to you about that on Monday. Thank you very much. I can't have an outside camera to go, so I'll just see you in a couple of days. Bye for now. Bottle jacks. 3, 2, 1. See you Monday morning. Bye-bye.